Sweetheart, you don't have to keep paying for a moment that already passed. I know how regret can sit in the mind like a little clock that never stops ticking, reminding you of what you said, what you didn't say, what you chose, what you didn't choose. It can feel like the past is standing right in front of you, demanding a payment, demanding an explanation, demanding that you suffer. And I want you to hear this gently, clearly, lovingly. You have suffered enough. Regret can feel like a heavy suitcase you've been carrying so long you forgot it was in your hand. At first you think you're carrying it because you should, because it proves you care, because it proves you've learned. And then years go by and you are still carrying it. Not because you are bad, not because you deserve pain, but because it became a habit of thought. You see, we often believe that if we punish ourselves long enough, we will somehow earn forgiveness. But that is not forgiveness. That is not love. That is simply pain repeating itself. And life loves you too much to want you to live that way. So let's be very kind here. Let's not make your regret into another weapon. Let's not say, why am I still like this? Let's say, oh, look how long I've been trying to fix the past with my thoughts. And I know this to be true. The point of power is always in the present moment. Not in yesterday, not in 20 years ago, not in the conversation you keep replaying, not in the opportunity you believe you missed. Right now, in this breath, in this moment, you have power. You see, regret is often the mind's way of trying to control time. It says, if I keep thinking about it, maybe I can change it. And that's such a human thing. It's the mind trying to protect you. It's the mind trying to keep you from making a mistake again. But the mind doesn't always know how to protect you with gentleness. Sometimes it protects you with harshness. Sometimes it thinks criticism is safety. And you may have learned that very early. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where mistakes were not met with understanding. Maybe mistakes were met with raised voices, with disappointment, with shame, with silence. And a child learns quickly. If I am hard on myself first, maybe I can avoid being hurt by others. So you became your own strict parent, your own judge, your own jailer. And I want to invite a new relationship with yourself today. Not a relationship of punishment, but a relationship of support. Because you deserve support. You deserve kindness. You deserve peace. And I know you might feel a little resistance as I say that. You might hear a voice inside that says, no, I don't deserve it. You don't understand what I did. Sweetheart, you are not the worst thing you ever did. You are not the moment you regret. You are a living, growing, learning being, and you are allowed to evolve. This is only a thought, and a thought can be changed, especially the ones that keep scolding you. Now, before we go any further, I want you to notice something in your body, because regret doesn't live only in the mind. It often settles in the body. Just take a gentle breath and notice where you feel the heaviness of regret. Is it in your chest? Like pressure? Is it in your stomach? Like a knot? Is it in your throat? Like words you never said? Is it in your shoulders? Like you've been carrying something that never belonged there? Just notice, without trying to fix it. And as you notice, let your breath be kind. Let your breath say, I'm here. Sometimes, when we carry regret for a long time, it becomes familiar. And what is familiar can feel like identity. We begin to think, this is who I am. I'm the one who messed up. I'm the one who missed my chance. I'm the one who hurt someone. I'm the one who failed. But regret is not your identity. Regret is a signal. It is a messenger. Regret says, I care. I want to do better. I want to be in integrity. That is not a bad message. The pain comes when we keep receiving the same message over and over and over, and we never let ourselves take the lesson and lay the burden down. It's like getting a receipt from a store and reading it every day. You don't need to keep reading the receipt to prove you paid. You don't need to keep reading the receipt to prove you learned something. You don't need to keep reading the receipt to prove you are sorry. At some point, you file it away. You keep the wisdom and you release the paper. And forgiveness, real forgiveness, is the moment you file it away. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Forgiveness is not pretending it didn't matter. Forgiveness is not saying it was fine. Forgiveness is not forcing yourself to feel something you don't feel. Forgiveness is a choice to stop hurting yourself with the past. Forgiveness says, I choose peace now. I choose to stop stabbing myself with the same memory. And you can do that, even if you still feel tenderness, even if you still feel sadness, even if you still wish it had been different. You can forgive yourself and still have feelings. You are allowed to feel what you feel. Now, let's talk about why self-forgiveness can feel so difficult. Sometimes we believe that if we forgive ourselves, we will become careless. We will repeat the same mistake. We will get away with it. But self-forgiveness does not make you careless. It makes you conscious. Punishment makes you afraid. Forgiveness makes you honest. Punishment says, you are bad. Forgiveness says, you are human. Punishment says, stay stuck. Forgiveness says, learn and grow. And growth is what life is. In the infinity of life where I am, everything is always changing. Every day you are different. Every breath you are different. So why would you trap yourself in a past version of you? Now I want you to imagine something with me very gently. Imagine your life is a garden, and each choice you've ever made is like a seed. Some seeds grow into beautiful flowers. Some seeds grow into weeds. And when you notice weeds, you don't stand in the garden yelling at yourself all day. You don't say, I am a terrible gardener. I should never have planted anything. I hate myself. You simply kneel down and you pull the weed. You loosen the soil. You water what you want to grow. That is self-love. That is maturity. That is how we learn. And the weeds you call regret, they are not proof you are bad. They are proof you are paying attention. So today we will pull some weeds, sweetheart, and we will do it with kindness. Let's meet the younger you with compassion, not correction. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or soften your gaze, and see if you can picture the version of you who made the decision you regret. Maybe they were younger in age, or younger in wisdom, or simply overwhelmed, scared, lonely, trying to be loved, trying to survive, trying to belong. Look at them, not with judgment. Look at them as you would look at a dear friend. What did they believe in that moment? Did they believe they weren't enough? Did they believe they had to please someone to be safe? Did they believe they had no choice? Did they believe they had to be strong and never ask for help? Did they believe love would be taken away if they made a mistake? Just notice. Because when you understand the belief, you soften the shame. Shame says, I am wrong. Understanding says, I was doing the best I could with what I knew. And sweetheart, that is the truth for every human being. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now you know more. Now you are wiser. Now you see more clearly. That is growth. So let's speak to that younger you. You might say softly inside, I see you. I know you were trying. I know you were scared. I know you wanted love. I know you wanted safety. And maybe the tears come. That's okay. Those tears are not weakness. Those tears are the heart loosening its grip. Now, sometimes regret is tied to something we did. And sometimes regret is tied to something we didn't do. The words you never spoke, the boundary you never set, the opportunity you didn't take, the person you didn't choose, the dream you didn't follow. And the mind says, if only, if only, if only. But sweetheart, the past is not a courtroom. It is a classroom. And in a classroom, we learn. We don't get sentenced. If you didn't speak up, perhaps you were learning about your voice. If you stayed too long, perhaps you were learning about your worth. If you left too soon, perhaps you were learning about your fear. If you made a choice that hurt you, perhaps you were learning about self-love. And you can take the lesson now. You can claim the wisdom now. You can decide differently now, because the point of power is always in the present moment. Now I want to offer a simple practice. It may feel very small, but small things are powerful when done with love. When the regret thought comes, when the memory comes, when the old movie plays, pause. Put your hand on your heart or your cheek, somewhere kind, and say to yourself, this is an old thought. This is an old story. This is an old receipt, and I am choosing peace now. Just that. And then breathe. You may have to do it many times. That is okay. We are not forcing the mind. We are training it gently, like you would train a puppy, with patience, not punishment. Now, let's begin a deeper release. I'd like you to notice the language you use with yourself about your regret. Do you say, I ruined everything? Do you say, I always mess up? Do you say, I don't deserve happiness? Do you say, it's too late? These are not facts, sweetheart. These are thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So we begin by telling the truth lovingly. The truth is, I did something I regret, and I am learning. I made a choice I wouldn't make today, and I am growing. I am willing to forgive myself. I am willing to be kind to myself now. Notice the difference in your body when you speak that way. There is space, there is breath. Now you might say, but what if I hurt someone? Yes, sometimes regret includes real pain. And when there is harm, we can take responsibility. We can make amends where possible. We can apologize. We can repair. And even then, we still do not need to live in self-hatred. Responsibility is clean. Shame is heavy. Responsibility says, I will do what I can now. Shame says, I will hate myself forever. Which one supports healing? Life is always moving forward, and life is inviting you forward. So if there is someone you can speak to, a conversation you can have, a letter you can write, a kind action you can take, then that can be part of your healing. And if it is not possible, if the person is gone, if the door is closed, if contact is not safe, then you can still forgive yourself. You can still do inner repair. You can still speak to your heart and say, I am sorry, and I love you, and I am learning. Because the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Now let me share something I have seen in so many people. When we hold regret for years, we think we are being responsible. But what we are really doing is keeping ourselves small. We are withholding our own joy as punishment. And joy is not something you earn by suffering. Joy is your natural state when you allow yourself to be present. You deserve good things. You deserve ease. You deserve laughter. You deserve love. You deserve to wake up without a weight on your chest. And I know that may sound almost too simple, but simplicity is where the power lives. Now, we're going to do an affirmation sequence together, and I want you to treat it like medicine. Not the kind of medicine that forces you to feel better instantly, but the kind that you take consistently, and over time, your inner world shifts. You see, affirmations are not magic words that erase your past. They are choices. They are new directions for the mind. Each time you say a new truth, you create a new pathway. So let's begin. If you can, say these out loud, and if you can't, say them silently. And if some of them feel hard, that's okay. You can start with, I am willing. In the infinity of life where I am, I now choose to forgive myself. In the infinity of life where I am, I now choose to forgive myself. In the infinity of life where I am, I now choose to forgive myself. Take a breath. I release the need to punish myself for the past. I release the need to punish myself for the past. I release the need to punish myself for the past. And breathe. I did the best I could with what I knew then. I did the best I could with what I knew then. I did the best I could with what I knew then. Now notice your shoulders. Let them soften. I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming more loving. I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming more loving. I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming more loving. And breathe. I allow compassion to enter my heart. I allow compassion to enter my heart. I allow compassion to enter my heart. You are doing beautifully. Now, there may be a part of you that still wants to argue. That part says, no, no, no. You don't get to forgive yourself. That part is afraid, so we soothe it. You might say, thank you for trying to protect me. I am safe now. I can choose love now. You are safe. All is well in your world. Now I want to guide you through a very gentle regret release that you can return to any time. Think of it as a soft 8-minute practice inside our time together, a focused moment of forgiveness. First, breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly. And as you breathe out, imagine you are exhaling some of the old heaviness. Not all at once, just a little. Breathe in and breathe out. Now bring to mind one regret, just one. Not the biggest one, not the most overwhelming. Choose one that feels manageable today, and notice what you say to yourself about it. Do you call yourself names? Do you say you're stupid? Do you say you ruined everything? Now, I want you to imagine that those words are written on a piece of paper in front of you. Just see them there, and notice how it feels to look at them. Then, imagine you take a gentle pen and you cross out those harsh words, not angrily, kindly, and you write a new sentence. Write, I am willing to forgive myself. I am willing to learn and grow. I am willing to be kind to myself now. And as you write those new words, notice what happens in your body. Maybe there is a little softening. Maybe there is a sigh. Now, imagine you take that old paper, the one with the harsh words, and you fold it up. That is the old receipt, and you place it in a file folder. Not to deny it, but to put it where it belongs, in the past. And you label the folder, Lessons I Have Learned. And you place it on a shelf, and you step back. Empty hands. And as you stand there with empty hands, say softly, I do not need to carry this anymore. I do not need to carry this anymore. I do not need to carry this anymore. Now, put your hand on your heart again and say, life loves me. Life loves me. Life loves me. And breathe. Now, let's widen this forgiveness beyond one moment, because sometimes regret isn't just about one thing. It's about a pattern. You regret how long you stayed silent. You regret how often you put yourself last. You regret how you abandoned your own needs. You regret how you didn't believe in yourself. And sweetheart, I want you to recognize something, that you can't shame yourself into self-respect. You can't hate yourself into self-love. You can't punish yourself into healing. You heal with tenderness. You heal with new choices. You heal by returning to the present. So let's do another set of affirmations, this time for the person you are becoming. I am worthy of forgiveness. I am worthy of forgiveness. I am worthy of forgiveness. I am willing to see myself with loving eyes. I am willing to see myself with loving eyes. I am willing to see myself with loving eyes. I choose thoughts that support me. I choose thoughts that support me. I choose thoughts that support me. The point of power is always in the present moment. The point of power is always in the present moment. The point of power is always in the present moment. I am free to begin again. I am free to begin again. I am free to begin again. Now, notice how your body responds when you say, I am free to begin again. Sometimes the mind will whisper, but it's too late. And I want to answer that with love. It is never too late to begin again inside. It is never too late to change the way you speak to yourself. It is never too late to choose peace. And when you choose peace inside, life begins to respond. Not always in dramatic, instant ways, but in subtle ways over time. You may notice you sleep a little better. You may notice you smile without forcing it. You may notice you have more patience. You may notice you make different choices. You may notice you feel lighter. Because when you stop carrying the past, you have energy for the present. Now, let me share a little story. Something simple. Imagine you are walking down a path and you've been dragging a heavy chain behind you. Each link is a regret. Each link is a should have. Each link is a why did I? And you've been dragging it for so long that you think it's part of you. You think you need it. You think you are not allowed to put it down. And then one day, you meet someone on the path who looks at you with kindness and says, "Sweetheart, why are you dragging that?" And you say, "Because I deserve it." And they kneel down beside you, and they show you something. The chain is not locked, it's just hooked. And all you have to do is lift it gently and unhook it. That is what we are doing today. We are unhooking you from punishment, not because the past didn't matter, but because you matter now. You matter now. Now, if you have access to a mirror at some point today or even later, there is a very gentle practice you can try. And if mirrors feel difficult, that's okay. You can do this with your eyes closed. Look at yourself and say, "I am here for you. I am not leaving you. I am learning to love you." And notice what comes up. If sadness comes up, let it come. If resistance comes up, let it come. You don't have to force anything. You are simply building a relationship. Because so much regret is actually abandonment. It's the feeling that you betrayed yourself, that you didn't protect yourself, that you didn't honor yourself. And the healing is not found by attacking yourself. The healing is found by returning to yourself, by saying, "I'm here now, I'm listening now, I care now." That is forgiveness. Now, sometimes people say, "How do I stop thinking about it?" And I want to be honest with you. You may not stop a thought from appearing at first. Thoughts are like clouds. They pass through. But you can change what you do with the thought. You can stop inviting it to move in. When regret comes, you can say, "Oh, there's that old thought again, and I choose a new one now." Then you replace it with something kinder. You might replace it with, "I forgive myself. I choose peace. I am safe. Life loves me. This moment is new." And you do it again and again, not as a battle, but as a practice. And over time, the regret thought comes less often. And when it comes, it has less power, because you have trained your mind to be a friend. Now let's take another moment to soothe the body, because forgiveness is not only mental, it's physical, it's energetic, it's emotional. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, soften your jaw, soften your shoulders, soften your belly. Let your tongue rest. Let your eyes rest, and say softly, "I allow my body to relax. I allow my body to relax. I allow my body to relax." Sometimes we hold regret like a constant brace in the body, a constant tension, as if we are preparing for punishment. But you are safe now. You are safe now. You are safe now. Now, I want to speak to the part of you that thinks forgiveness means forgetting. No, sweetheart. Forgiveness does not erase the memory. It changes the charge. It takes the sting out. It allows you to remember without collapsing. It allows you to say, "That happened and I learned." And you carry the wisdom, not the wound. That is maturity. That is healing. And you are capable of that. Now, perhaps your regret is connected to time. 20 years, 10 years, even 1 year. The mind loves to count. It says, "I wasted so much time." And I want to offer you another way to see time. Time is not a punishment. Time is a teacher. Those years were not useless if they brought you to this moment of awakening. If you are here listening now, it means a part of you is ready, ready for relief, ready for kindness, ready for a new chapter. So those years were not wasted, they were shaping you. Even the pain was shaping you, not because you needed pain, but because you are resilient and you learned through what you experienced. And now you get to choose learning through love. Now let's return to our affirmations and let them sink deeper. I choose to be gentle with myself. I choose to be gentle with myself. I choose to be gentle with myself. I release the past with love. I release the past with love. I release the past with love. I accept myself exactly as I am today. I accept myself exactly as I am today. I accept myself exactly as I am today. And I deserve good things. I deserve good things. I deserve good things. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. All is well in my world. Now, I want you to imagine your future self, the you who has made peace with the past. See them. How do they carry themselves? How do they breathe? What does their face look like when they wake up in the morning? There is a softness there, a steadiness, and your future self is not far away. Your future self is created by your choices now, by the thought you choose now, by the kindness you offer now. Now let's bring this into practical life, because forgiveness is not only something you say in a quiet moment, it's something you live. When you are tempted to punish yourself, choose one supportive action instead. If you want to spiral, drink a glass of water. If you want to attack yourself, step outside and take 3 breaths. If you want to replay the past, place your hand on your heart and say, I choose peace. If you want to say, I don't deserve, replace it with, I am learning. These are small actions that tell your nervous system, we are safe, we are moving forward. And little by little, your life becomes more life-supporting. Now let me offer another metaphor, one I find very helpful. Imagine your mind is like a radio, and regret is a station you have been tuned to for years. It plays the same song over and over, and you might think, I can't stop it. But you can. You can reach over and turn the dial. At first, the old station comes back because your hand is used to that spot. But you turn it again, and you keep turning it, until one day your hand naturally finds a new station, a station of kindness, a station of peace, a station of trust. So today we are turning the dial. Now, I want to acknowledge something very tender. Sometimes we don't forgive ourselves because we fear that if we let go of regret, we will lose our connection to someone or to something. We think, if I stop regretting, it means I didn't care. If I stop regretting, it means they didn't matter. If I stop regretting, it means I'm cold. No, sweetheart, you can love someone and still release regret. You can honor what happened and still choose peace. You can care deeply and still be free. Regret is not love. Regret is pain, and you don't need pain to prove love. Love is gentle. Love is present. Love is kind. So you may say, I release regret and I keep love. I release regret and I keep love. I release regret and I keep love. And breathe. Now, if your regret is about a relationship, something you said or did, something you tolerated, something you wished you had known, remember this: you were learning about love. Many of us were taught that love means sacrifice, that love means earning, that love means waiting for someone to change. And when we wake up, we think, how could I have done that? Sweetheart, you did it because you didn't know another way yet. Now you know more. Now you choose more. That is healing. If your regret is about money, career, a missed chance, remember, you made choices with the awareness you had then, and life is full of opportunities when we are willing to see them. When you stop looking backward, you begin to notice what is available now. And over time, you may discover new doors opening, new ideas arriving, new connections appearing, not because you forced it, but because your energy is no longer trapped in the past. Now, I want you to take a breath and feel the possibility of that. Feel the possibility that you can be free. Feel the possibility that you can be kind. Feel the possibility that you can begin again. Now let's do one more deep forgiveness sequence, slowly, warmly, like a lullaby for the heart. Repeat after me, in your own way. I forgive myself for not knowing what I know now. I forgive myself for not knowing what I know now. I forgive myself for not knowing what I know now. I forgive myself for the choices I made from fear. I forgive myself for the choices I made from fear. I forgive myself for the choices I made from fear. I forgive myself for the times I abandoned my own needs. I forgive myself for the times I abandoned my own needs. I forgive myself for the times I abandoned my own needs. I choose to return to myself with love. I choose to return to myself with love. I choose to return to myself with love. Life supports me in new ways. Life supports me in new ways. Life supports me in new ways, and just breathe. Now notice what you feel. You may feel lighter. You may feel emotional. You may feel calm. You may feel nothing at all. Whatever you feel is perfect. Healing is not a performance. Healing is a permission. Now I want to offer you a very simple truth you can carry with you. You cannot hate yourself into a better past, but you can love yourself into a better present. And a better present becomes a better future. So when regret visits you again, and it may, you can greet it like an old visitor who doesn't know you've moved. You can say, "Oh, hello, I have learned, and I live here now, in the present." And you gently close the door. Now, I want to talk for a moment about trust. Regret often comes from the belief that life is fragile, that one mistake ruins everything, that one wrong turn destroys your path. But life is far more resilient than that. Life is creative. Life reroutes. Life finds new paths. You see, the universe is not sitting with a clipboard saying, "You failed." Life is saying, come back to yourself, come back to love. And I know this to be true. Life loves you. Now, let's anchor this into your day. When you finish listening, do one kind thing for yourself. A kind cup of tea, a gentle stretch, a walk, a clean, fresh breath by a window, a hand on your heart with a whispered, "I love you." Not because you have to earn it, because you deserve it. You deserve good things. Now I want you to imagine that you are standing at the edge of a river. On one side is the past. On the other side is the present. And regret is like a stone you've been carrying from the past. Today you can place that stone down, not with drama, not with force. Just set it down and step into the present. And the present has fresh water, fresh air, fresh choices. Now, let's close with a final integration. Take a slow breath in, and as you breathe out, say, "I release the past." Take another breath in, and as you breathe out, say, "I choose peace now." And one more gentle breath. And as you breathe out, say, "I am free to begin again." Feel that. Let it settle. Today you are free to begin again, and you don't need anyone's permission, not even your own past. Be kind to yourself, sweetheart. You are learning how to love you, and in the infinity of life where you are, all is well in your world.